Yo, what up, though, man? Got my guy in the building, DK Rolla. What's up, man?
What's up, bro?
You know what I'm saying?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I mean, I'm trying to survive quarantine. How about you, man?
Man, same thing, bro. It's been rough out here, bro. So
Crazy world, right?
it is crazy, bro. Quarantine, man. This COVID stuff is real. It affected me personally. So I mean, I had somebody that died from it
Oh,
recently.
man.
So I'm just trying to really abide by all the laws and whatever we got to do, mask, 6 feet, all that.
So since we kind of on that, prior to having a loved one actually pass or get sick from it, what was your take on COVID initially?
Man, I took it very serious because the first time I heard about it, like when I heard about it, at first I wasn't taking it serious until at my job they started taking it serious, and they were like, "Oh, we're about to work from home," and at my job we never work from home.
Gotcha.
So when they said that, and then I was working a second job at the time at a grocery store working in a meat market. When I got there, the day that I think,
Hold on one second.
What's up?
Okay. Go ahead, pick up. It sounded like your mic had cut out, but we straight. Go ahead.
Okay. So the day that I actually got to the meat market, the day that they announced that you was gonna have to work from home, I got there and I was working in Plano, and I saw how rich white people started flipping out, and that's when it like hit me for real, because I was like, bro, I work in upscale, like West Plano. And,
Gotcha.
that was my second job, and when I saw them white people tripping out, that's when I started kind of like, all right, man, this is a little bit more serious than what I was taking it at first.
So tell me, tripping out, like, what do you mean by that? Was you seeing a bunch of Karens? Like, what were you seeing that caused the ring the alarm?
Man, the first, bro, I go into to work, and I work in the meat market in the back, so I'm coming in like, I'm not even thinking too much about it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna shoot to the back, do my thing. I get in there and it's two people fight, like it's women, two white women in line, and a lady bumps the white lady because she took some toilet paper, and they literally start fighting in the aisle. Two white people in West Plano, two white women started fighting.
Thugs.
And I was working at grocery store, high up grocery store, Market Street.
Okay.
And when they started fighting, man, I was like, and one of our store owner came out there and like had to break it up. And when he broke it up and let us, and he pretty much saw me, and he was like, hey man, it's been crazy all day. Just go to the back. We need help. And that whole night was just a whirlwind.
Wow.
Like by the time I left, I had never seen this in my life. By the time I left, all the meat, any meat products was gone. Like I didn't have nothing to put up. Everything was gone. All the toilet paper, all the essential food was gone. And it was just like, and then that's when I was like, okay, man, this is a little bit more serious than what I thought.
I know you in the hip hop thing, you're Dallas native, man, and I want to get to the story. Get to the beginning, man. Where you from? What was it like for you growing up, being a resident of the Triple D?
Man, it was cool. It was really cool. I mean, I started out, my mom and dad separated or divorced when I was real young, like 3.
Okay.
So we moved from, I think they were in Garland then. We moved from there to North Dallas.
Okay.
So I stayed in North Dallas off of Miller in these apartments called Santa Colony. And I think they still there, really. So I stayed in North Dallas until I was like 10, 11. And then I ended up moving to Cedar Hill.
Okay.
North Dallas was totally different than what Cedar Hill was. I mean, at the time, it was a lot of things going on. It was gangs, robberies, killings. But it was kind of fresh. I don't know how that may sound, but like North Dallas always got looked at like it was the weakest hood.
Okay.
Like everybody was like, "Ah, man, y'all in the weakest hood in Dallas," but all this stuff was still happening. And where I was staying, it was kind of like I was on the cusp because like I wasn't deep on there. I was still off of I think it's Abrams or no Adelia, excuse me, and it's like Miller.
Gotcha.
And I was on the cusp, but like, man, I was infected by all of that as well. I was getting in trouble as well, and my mom, she really got on the grind, hustled up, and saved up the money and found an opportunity to move to Cedar Hill. And when I moved there, it was just like a 180, bro. It was just like we went from, a kind of a shaky situation. I won't say I was like living in the worst of the worst
Right.
trenches, but it was definitely different than when I moved to Cedar Hill. And Cedar Hill was like cool, man. I mean, it was laid back. There's a lot of black people, a lot of fluent black people. I wasn't kind of used to seeing that. I was just used to kind of seeing people making it, barely making it. And then when I get there, it's just like, all right, everybody has jobs. You know, people are working good. They got a nice house, car. May see mom and dad in the house. That was cool. And, you know, it was cool. I liked it, man. I mean, it made me who I am today. I'm very fortunate that we got to move.
So then hip hop, like at what point in time did you decide to jump into the whole hip hop frame?
Man, I always loved hip hop.
Okay.
My dad used to make mixtapes for me when I was a kid.
Okay.
You know, shout out, my dad was a big influence because he would make mixtapes and throw Ghetto Boys on there, and he would throw Ice Cube on there. And then my cousin Barn was my big brother, man. Like he was a Ferguson boy, which is like a whole nother hood kind of in Pleasant Grove. And he had a plug on mixtapes.
Okay.
So we used to listen to, and I mean real tapes, not CDs. I'm talking about the actual tapes.
Cassettes.
Yeah, cassette tapes. So he used to play. He would get so much music, and every time I go to my cousin's house, he would just play. He would just be like, "Hey, have you heard this dude? Have you heard this dude? Have you heard this dude?" But yeah, that's when I really just started loving hip hop because my cousin Byron, man, he's probably my biggest influence when it came to music.
Okay. Okay. So like when you your dad introducing you to hip hop and you start navigating hip hop on your own, who were your top artists growing up that you was listening to that influenced you most musically?
Man, ironically, my first was like, it was really West Coast because my cousin is like a big West Coast fan.
Okay.
So we was listening to like Cube, Snoop, you know, everything. West Side Connection was like my favorite group as a kid. But then as I got older, he introduced me to UGK.
Okay.
And when I heard Pimp C for the first time, it was over, bro. Like I knew right then and there, like I gotta rap, man, because UGK was just like, it changed everything. And then UGK, 8Ball and MJG, those two groups really, really changed how I looked at hip hop.
Okay, so let's I'm gonna detour a little bit since we're right here. So top 3 rap R&B. Top 3 hip hop groups of all time.
For me, it's gonna be UGK, Ball and G, and then Outkast.
Okay. I would probably go Outkast, Ball and G, Crisscross.
Crisscross. You know, I like Crisscross, but I ain't gonna put him up there, though.
No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
But UGK, or you know what? I'm gonna put it like this. At first, I wasn't a big UGK fan because I really didn't like Pimp C.
Yeah.
I was more of a Bun fan.
Yeah.
But moving to the South and living in Texas, like just like when I lived in Georgia before here, I wasn't a big Gucci Man fan.
Yeah.
Like when people was like, Gucci Man was spitting and the bar I heard, My Money Long Like Shaq Feet, I said, bro, that's the most terrible bar I ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
I hated Gucci. But living in Georgia, I started to like Gucci. Moving to Texas, I started to like Pimp C. But coming from up north, you not a pimp, you's a fair red. I said, bro, hell no.
That's old Pimp C. Like I be telling people, I was like, man, I think a lot of people like you from Detroit.
Yeah.
So you got introduced to like an older Pimp C. Like I was like, man, if you listen to like Super Tight, Too Hard to Swallow, and then you get into Dirty Money,
yeah,
like the first couple of albums, that's a totally different Pimp C than what you got on the latter stuff, like when he came out of prison.
Okay.
So, you know.
I'm gonna have to go back and do my homework, man.
Yeah, I mean, bro, listen to Dirty Money to me, Riding Dirty. Dirty Money's tight too. But Riding Dirty, that was like a game changer, you know, like far as a Southern album, man. It just changed. It was mind blowing when I listened to that album. And I listened to it at my cousin's house.
So when it comes to rapping, what made you decide to jump into that lane? At what point in time you say, you know what? I'm going to pursue, hip hop professionally.
Man, so I'll just give a little backstory because I don't want to like ramble on, but like I started liking Nas. My boy, one of my homeboys named James, he was from Arlington and he just had a different perspective on music.
Okay.
I always liked South and West Coast. And then I liked a few East Coast dudes, but I really wasn't an East Coast listening to it. And then he was just like, man, you like all these stories, you like all this lyrics, and you ain't listening to these people. Jay-Z, Nas, Guru, Mobb Deep, all these people, right?
Yeah.
So I started listening to Nas. Nas was actually my favorite rapper. Then it's Pimp C.
Okay.
But once I heard Nas and I heard the stories he was telling, I knew that like I could probably do it. I was at that time though, I was playing football. Like football was my thing. I thought I was just gonna make it out and be the best football player in the world. You know, Reggie White was like my idol. I'm like, I'm about to be like that. And of course I didn't grow. I stayed short. And then I actually got sick my senior year. And when I got sick, I could not play football no more for that year, which pretty much halted my football goals. But I had scholarships, and then I was a big power lifter in Cedar Hill.
Okay.
So once that football stuff got railroaded, it just really pushed me into music because I was already rapping and doing it, but my main focus was just football.
Got you. Okay.
But I knew I wasn't gonna. I'm like 5'7". Even though I was strong. Just trust me, bro. Like I'm a powerlifting guru out there in Cedar Hill, but it's just I knew like it kind of started hitting me like, all right, man, you going against dudes that's 6'5", 380 pounds, and you 5'7", 250. Like it's not about to work.
Hey man, you know what they say, football man, the lowest man win.
I won a lot, and I had scholarships, man. But my senior year was just like in and out the hospital, man.
Gotcha.
So once I got sick, I ended up having a thyroid condition called Graves' disease. Once I got that, and they put me out of commission for that year, it was kind of like a wrap. I kind of like knew what I was trying, but you know, I knew like if you can't play your senior year and you not a one in a lifetime type athlete, it's not gonna really.
It's tough.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So when did you start hopping into the studio? Because I know you was part of a group. Give me like the origin of that, like formulating a group, starting to get into the studio, and starting to actually make runs. Because y'all actually had a record that kind of started doing something.
Well, I was kind of in a group, and then I wasn't. Like I was in a group with my cousin LB and then SC. We had a 3 group. I was in college, man, and I went to college. My mother was real heavy on going to school, but I just wasn't no big school dude. I looked at college as like I can go up there, start making some records, and start pursuing my dream of making music. And when I got up there, I met some people who was recording. You know, I was just trying to figure out like where can I go record, where can I go drop these records, because I got this stuff I want to say. And so I got my freshman year. I really started messing with one of my friends named Undeezy, and then War I Am Dallas. He's a real lyrical dude, rapper from Dallas, from West Dallas. And I just started recording with them. It kind of progressed, and one of my folk from the Fallstown, LB was a producer, so he just started making beats. I found, I finagled some programs, finessed some programs with some people, and stole some stuff off the internet and got a mic somehow. And then I just started rapping, bro. And I thought I was really cold at that time, but I really wasn't. I was kind of trash then. So yeah, I thought I was like Nas at that time, because I laugh at those records now. I was rapping, and yeah, man, they was learning experiences, bro. So, but I eventually hooked up with another friend of mine from Garland, G Squad.
Okay.
That's probably what you're thinking about, G Squad.
Yeah.
My man Stone and Mick, shout out to them. They were just more. They were. Stone was in Houston, and he was grinding. They're from Garland, but he was in Houston at the time and going to school, and they were just a little bit more solidified than me.
Gotcha.
And they showed me the ropes. Stone and Mick showed me the ropes that really how to. I was making little mixtapes here and there, but like they started like, hey man, we got to get the quality good. We got to go to the studio. We got to get the artwork. We got to do this. And then Stone, he was kind of the architect of it. Like that's one of my close friends, and he just really showed me the game of how to really put out music and try to get shows, try to get promotion, just different things.
No, I got you. Okay. So for the most part, so you jumped and collaborated with a couple of groups, but you kind of move as a solo artist for the most part.
Yeah.
Got you. So when it comes to your style now, seeing how do you progress? Like you said you listen back to some of the songs. when you were trying to be more, when you was more Nas influenced.
Yeah.
If you were to talk about your music now, what makes you unique? What is your style? Where would you characterize your lane right now?
My folk LB said something that changed my perspective. I was trying to be Nas. I was trying to be the Texas Nas. That was not working. It was not good. Like I was saying stuff, but I wasn't talking about my life. And then he just told me like, bro, just talk about your life. He's like, I don't want to hear no made up story about this and that. Like, who is you? You know, who's
Gotcha.
DK? And when he said that, at first I didn't really take it. I thought he was kind of hating, but the more and more I started listening to it, I was like, or I started really looking back at what he said, I was like, all right, bro, he right. I got to tell my story. I can't be Nas. I'm never going to be Nas. I'm not from Queensbridge. I'm not from New York. I'm from Dallas, you know, and niggas ain't going to want to hear that from me, you know what I'm saying? And I said, my story ain't no all in the ghetto story. I said, I grew up in Cedar Hill. So I said, I had to really make what I'm talking about interesting. And I had to tell what me and my boys went through out there. And I had to talk about what I went through. So that's when I really started thinking I got better. And then I just started working on my flow. I listened to so much music that I was just like, all right, bro, I got to become like real lyricist. And I got to be able to tell this in an interesting way. And it's got to be jamming. But I got to tell my story. I can't be another person.
No, absolutely. Hold on. All right, then. So like right now in the music game, like a lot is going on, like with the versus thing. I don't know. Did you see the DMX versus the Snoop Dogg?
Man, I saw snippets. My boy was telling me, Sonny Browski, he was telling me I need to watch it, but I didn't have time. Man, that's what I said. I had a crazy week dealing with the COVID stuff with somebody passing, so I really didn't even get a time.
I got you. So that just happened very recently.
Yeah, man, I've been in one for a COVID incident and one just my boy's mom died, but I had two funerals in 1 week.
Did your loved one who passed away, man, and sorry for your loss, did they pass away, were they older?
Yeah, they were older, or he was older. It's not like 100%, they haven't just said like that was it, but that's kind of the general basis because he had got sick. He was fine like 3 weeks ago.
And then just
hit. And then he just got sick, and the coroner was kind of telling us that I don't know what the official was, but that's what everybody was kind of telling me. What the coroner was saying, like, all right, he kind of died of that.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, man, I mean, it's just I really this whole week just been a whirlwind, bro. So it's just like I really ain't looked at no verses or anything like that. I just been handling business. So,
what I'll tell you what, that was probably the best verses I've seen.
Yeah.
They definitely stepped it up. I mean, I know like earlier the verses was pretty much your IG live and things of that nature. But this one they really stepped it up and got like DMX and Snoop in the same studio together. DMX had his chair, Snoop had his chair next to him. You know what I'm saying? Swiss Beats was the DJ inside the studio. They had an actual high def resolution camera and audio, and they were performing their songs. They weren't like you play one and we just listen. No, they had mics actually performing their joints, bro, and it was like dope. And what was crazy is DMX, you can see he's sober because he all fat now.
Yeah, I did see him looking husky.
So I was liking that. And the funny thing, he was breathing hard and moving like a big dude. So I was like,
man, that's my dude.
That's one of my favorite artists. But
that's one of mine too.
He definitely put some insight. After he performed "Get at Me, Dog," he was like, Snoop, man, you know, it's because of you I did that song. And Snoop was like, man, how so? He was like, you remember that time you came to New York and we was at the club? Yeah. He was like, yeah. And then he was like, I came up there and said something to you and you was like, hey, get at me, dog. Yeah. And he was like, in my head, nigga, I was like, yo, that's cold. And then he just turned Get at Me, Dog into a song. He got that from Snoop.
I remember when Get at Me, Dog, I had a homeboy and he loved DMX. And it made me love DMX. And Get At Me, Dog was like banned on MTV. I don't know if everybody remember that. Like MTV banned the video.
Wow.
It wasn't on 106 and Park. You can only watch it on Hits and The Basement.
And probably BT Uncut.
Yeah. And man, and my boy kept telling me like, bro, wait till you see this dude, DMX. And I was like, man, you know. And then, you know, I was just kind of starting to like New York artists. So, man, I saw that Get At Me, Dog, and I was like, boy, that's the craziest thing I ever heard, bro. And then you know, it got that buzz because it was banned on MTV. So I was like, bro, this is the rawest.
You ever
Love
seen?
DMX, man.
Yeah, man. So with hip hop right now and the state of hip hop and lyricism, man, do you think lyricism can make a resurgence? Because I look at the very lyrical rappers and R&B singers like in the same. Like you got to really go to where they are to find them. You're not going to get that displayed publicly unless you like a Kendrick who can put the medicine in the candy. Because what I find with most lyrical artists is they be real good at bars, but don't really be good either at making songs or make songs that just slap where most people will play it.
I mean, like nowadays, I think you could be lyrical and find your own lane. I don't know if it's gonna be so much. Not everybody gonna make it to that top like a Kendrick or a J. Cole or you know. I don't know if you think Drake is lyrical. I think he's lyrical.
Yeah, I think so, but
like not everybody's gonna make it there. So you just gotta kind of carve out your lane. But there is a lane and a way to really, really make an impact. Being a lyricist and just dropping your music, and you can get a big following.
But can you become a mega star from being
Some will and some won't. Some of them are gonna be like a Kendrick, a J. Cole, and then you'll have some people who will be like, you know, you'll have some people like I think Freddie Gibbs is a big lyricist, but
he's not gonna break to a.
I don't know if I want him to. Like that's one of my
I feel like
top dudes, but I don't know if he'll make it to that Kendrick Lamar level. I think that where he is at with the amount of fans that he has and the following he has is really good and he's successful. But will he make it to a Kendrick Lamar status? I don't know about that.
I feel like Freddie Gibbs,
Yeah,
Royce,
yeah. And Royce is dope too.
What's the other cats?
Griselda.
Griselda.
I love them.
They hard.
Yes.
But again, these are people that's going to be under that Tech Nine type of umbrella where you're going to develop a very strong cult following. And I don't see them crossing that threshold because they're not going to give you a top 40 record that's going.
And I mean, I don't know if that is what you're trying to do, then you're going to have to switch up your style a little bit. You're going to have to.
So that's what I'm saying. Back to my original thing. And like, if you're going to be a lyrical rapper, see, Drake is lyrical. He going to bar you, but he going to give you great songs.
Right.
Most lyricists don't give you great songs.
Not everybody can do that. And I don't know if everybody wants to do that. Because, you know, Kendrick kind of found that mixture where he can be successful and do that. Jay-Z, to me, is like one of those dudes who's just the most successful lyrical dudes you ever, but he had a balance. So you're going to have to have a balance of type of music you want if that is your goal. But I don't think everybody goal is that. Like I listen to Griselda, and that's like one of my favorite people I listen to right now, between Westside Gunn, Conway, and Benny. But you listen to their sound, I know they're not trying to be the biggest. They just gonna do the music they want to do, and they successful at it.
Got you.
So if you can be like me, that's kind of how I look at it. You know, like I look at somebody like Currency. I really like Currency a lot. Currency has his own lane though, and he's very successful in his own lane. Will he be up there with them top people? Probably not. But he's cool with making the music he's doing, and he's very successful.
All right. So with you, when it comes to music then, like what's your overall goal with it? Because again, I guess there's just the competitiveness in me that anything I do, I want to be the top. Like I want to, like this interview shit, I know I'm just starting off in it and I'm learning.
Right.
I'm making my mistakes, but at the end, when it all said and done, I want it to be like, yo, he put together, I didn't surpass Vlad. I didn't put together some of the most amazing content ever that's going to outlast me. Like, what is your goal?
And man, not to just big you up, but I feel like you on the way, bro. I see the interviews and they looking good. But my goal right now is like I know I'm third on the mic, so I'm not worried about what people if I make it to a certain level. I want to be in the game, and I want people to really hear this music and see what I'm trying to accomplish, which is I want people to really listen to the music and know that I'm wanting to throw this out, especially coming from the DLW and coming from Texas. But I do have a goal of putting my brand. Like I'm actually finalizing a little bit of my record label, like some of the business aspects of it. Because I actually have an album I'm about to drop.
Got you.
But I'm just trying to establish my brand and my sound. And if I make it to a Kendrick Lamar, part, I would be very happy. But I kind of feel like, me personally, I fit into that role of like a Griselda, Freddie
Gotcha.
Gibbs, a Currency, and I'm cool with that. Like if I can live the way I want to live, making the music that I want to make, I'm gonna be very happy. Like I don't have to be the number one dude, because I feel like when people hear the music, it's already gonna be like, all right,
Gotcha.
he one of the coldest. Like somebody like a Devin a dude, right? You listen to Devin, and some people may not like him, but a lot of people be like, he one of the coldest. But he necessarily never made it to a Jay-Z level. But if you talk to somebody in that, like your rapper's favorite rapper, that's kind of what I like.
So if somebody came to you and said, "Hey, bro, you have a choice to be in the Currency lane doing the same thing that you're doing versus being in a, let's say, Rick Ross,
Right.
Young Thug lane." I'm not even gonna say as high as Drake and Jay-Z, but in that lane, doing what you're doing, which one would you pick?
I would embrace the Rick Ross lane if I could, but I had to make the music that I want to make. Like I'm not gonna compromise what I'm trying to put out and my sound and what I'm trying to do to just grab, the next big thing. Because being famous ain't like my ultimate goal. My goal is to put out the music I want to make and live off the music that I want to make. And I would be more happier knowing that people listen to something that I wanted to put out, instead of compromising myself and just trying to make something to be the next big thing, right?
So do you feel like Rick Ross and all of them compromised themselves in order?
No,
Like on that Entanglement song, do you feel like Rick Ross compromised himself by jumping on that song with
I don't
Anderson
know
singing?
about that song, but Rick Ross, man, Rick is one of my favorites, bro. Like Rick,
Definitely, mine too.
Rick inspired me. Renzel inspires me like crazy. So I love his music, bro. So if I could do, like, I feel like somebody like Ross knew how to really make his impact and make the music that would put him on that level, but it's still good music, bro, and it jams. Like, it's only Rick got like album after album after album. So if I could do that, yeah, I would definitely love to do that. If I can make music in that particular lane, I can. But I'm not saying that I don't want to make it to that level. What I'm saying is I want to put out the music I want to put out. And if that music takes me to that level, I will embrace it wholeheartedly. If it doesn't, I will embrace that too. But I want to do it my way. I don't want to be trying to like go for this number one thing. I want to just drop the music that I want to drop and, ride it the way it is. Because
Gotcha.
I've done that. Like I've done that. Like I'm an older artist, so like I was around in the boogie era, bro. Like I've always been on the cusp of all these waves, and
Gotcha.
I'm in the background trying to do it. So when the boogie era came, I love the boogie era now as an older man looking back and seeing what it did. But at the time of the boogie era, I was one of them dudes like, man, I ain't trying to rap like that. And I end up kind of getting to, I got hungry looking at people getting successful with these songs and getting on the radio and doing things. And I made a little club song like that, just a boogie club song. And it did pretty well at school, but I hated that damn song.
Hey, man, I think the boogie movement for Dallas is that girl that the good girl that got away.
I mean, the boogie era was tight, bro. I'll never talk down on it, but I just had to be honest. Like, I don't want to be a liar and be like, I was just boogieing out. When I was coming out, I was trying to be like a lyricist. So it's like, all right, now I got to make a song about, she bad or, big booty Judy. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? So I did. I made a little club song. I tried to make it lyrical. I tried to fuse it, and it did okay, but I hated that song.
What's the name of the song? You got it on streaming platforms right now?
Is it on the streaming?
Or is it on SoundCloud somewhere?
It's on Bandcamp.
Bandcamp, man. You got to get that boy up on the streaming platform.
I mean, if you want to, I think it was called I'm Rolling.
On Rolla, okay.
And it did okay, but it's one of them songs where I listened to it, I was like, oh man, I shouldn't have did that. And when I did that, that changed my perspective, because after I did that, I was like, I'll never make a song to get on like that again. I said, I don't want to do a song like that.
So right now, if you was to put your top 3 songs that people should go check in right now.
Right now for me, I definitely think you need to check out Dark Side of the Moon. That's on my last EP, For To Your Noggin. I think you need to check out Still Holding. That's a throw song. And then what's another song that you want to listen to? All My Commission.
Okay.
And then I'll throw another one. It's called I Know What It Is.
Okay.
I Know What It Is. And that's all on streaming platforms, on everything. That's you put in DK Rolla, it'll come up on Apple Music, Spotify, everything. Google Music, all that.
Although challenging 2020 has been, what can we expect musically for you the rest of this year?
So I am dropping a new album called or a new project. I don't know if it'll be like an official album, but it's called Faith Without Words. It's pretty much done. I'm just mastering it, but it's all done. Artwork is done. It's a real throat album. It's a little bit different than what I normally did. And that's gonna be out pretty soon. It would have been out earlier, but the COVID kind of slowed down kind of the process we were gonna do. We were gonna have videos, everything, a big rollout. But once COVID hit, it just kind of like slowed down that. But right now I'm getting my business together because I do have a label. And once that finalizes, then I'll start dropping music. And then I'm gonna have another album, which I just started working on this week. And then I gotta plug in my boy Sonny Liston. He has an R&B album coming out. And I don't know if you want me to tell you your name, but I'm gonna say it. It's called Occupied. That's done, mastered, everything. That's gonna be crazy, bro. Huh? And that's what I was working on too. That's why I was like working on my label and trying to get my production up so we can drop him, because his album is gonna be, because he's a singer, man, and it's just, and he raps, he sings, he raps, he produces, he's a triple threat. He produced a lot of my records, and he's just gonna be like out the park when he drop, bro. So
for sure, man. Well, hey, I definitely tell you what, we're gonna check it. We're gonna check in for it.
Yeah.
And once you ready to drop the new project, man, let's come back. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Once he's ready to drop, once I drop, I'll definitely come back, bro. I appreciate this. This is big to me, and I like what you doing. That's why I wanted to work with you, because I said what you doing is big, and it's an honor to come here, honestly.
Hey, DK, man, I appreciate the support.
Yeah.
Hey, man, and I'm trying to be at the top, man.
Hey, man, you gonna be there, man. You gonna be there, and I mean, I see what you're doing, man. You grinding, bro. So it's just a matter of time, bro. It takes a little patience, but you see your rise going. I saw you. I'm gonna be you. I saw you on the Source magazine.
You know what I'm saying? A little something,
little sauce, man.
Something, you know what I'm saying?
Source magazine. I was like, oh man, big homie.
A little something.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of time, and you gonna be right there. Hey, and man, trust me, I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm gonna be there too.
Hey, bro, we're gonna go to the top. We ain't gonna just stop at the middle of the mountain and say this is comfortable and good enough.
It ain't no other way. You gotta keep grinding, man. So
hey, man, well, I'll see you soon.
Yeah.